Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory be to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachak, Kodash. And I want to say double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and blessings to the hopeful elect out there teaching this word in all sincerity and truth, in the hopes that we may edify and feed the lambs of Yahweh Shai, especially in these last days, where we're going to need every ounce of faith in order to endure unto the end, in order to be saved, because the scripture says that he that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. And things are going to get real bad out here, you know. I was just sitting down here, just mulling things over, meditating, scrolling through some things on YouTube, the latest news, and I'm seeing nothing but judgment, as I scroll down the news. You had this new thing where packages of fentanyl was found at a daycare center, and I think a 1-year-old child got put to death. So that was one thing that I saw that was like, and you got the other children, multiple children fighting for their lives because they're saying that they were poisoned with fentanyl. And there are spirits out here created for vengeance, man. We're living in a time where you might even have children, and you might have to see them go to school or whatever, whatever your circumstance may be or not. All right. But while you are at work, or your woman's at work or whatever, your children are being raised by complete demons, all right, or they're being influenced by complete demons, and not just the children at school, all right, heathens and all right, but you've got these adults, all right, that now have the responsibility of taking care of your child by indoctrinating them while you go and work on a plantation for Esau or any other nation for that matter. And we don't have the joy over our children, man. That's why the scriptures clearly tell us that we are yet this day in our captivity, and things are going to get even worse out here. This is why we need saving. This is why we need saving. Earlier on, I was watching Elder Apostle Tahar do a video about these are they that came through great tribulation, loosely paraphrasing, and he was talking about the immigrants that were trying to get from, from Colombia to Panama, then to the United States, only to be told once they get to the border. And by the way, the journey that they have to go through to get there, they got to fucking dodge gorillas, they got to dodge panthers, they got to dodge people that are kidnappers, all right? And in order to get there, only to find out that they can't even enter the US and to be turned away, all right? And you trying to tell me that this man ain't the devil? The scriptures tell you that the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked, man. That's Job 9:24. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So that's Esau, all right? And the wicked, if you want to know who the wicked is, go to Malachi 1:4. All right? Starting with the elite banking families. Now, dealing with the elite, they have a new world order agenda to fulfill. And as you can see on this screen here, I got up the, this individual. His page is Bjorn Andreas Bo Hansen. I've been watching this guy for quite some time. All right, even Apostle Elder Gabar has done videos on his channel before, or in response to what he said on his channel before. And some of these things that he's saying, and I like watching things like this from time to time because it just reminds us to stay plugged into what's really going on, never getting too caught up with the affairs of this life. It keeps us spiritually grounded, if you will. And as you can see, the title of his video, it says they want complete surveillance. Will you let them? All right. And ultimately, they want to pretty much put an electronic device, an electronic tag inside of you. Reason being is because they want to play the Most High. Okay. They have a God complex, if you will. All right. So in fact, what I'm going to do is, and they always say that it's for your safety, and it's, you know, for your own good, and, you know, it's for the good of humankind, and, you know, oh, it's for climate change, it's for this, it's for that, you know. And that's called auto abkeo. Remember, the scripture said that we're not supposed to be ignorant of his devices. Let's get 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Yeah. And the main device, okay, of the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan that they're gonna push is for these people out here to be chipped. All right. And they got the audacity to call that a fucking upgrade, because they've even got a movie called Upgrade, and it's dealing with, you know, it's dealing with the implant. All right, dealing with the chip. Okay, wanting to connect you to the Internet of Things, because they want complete surveillance, you know, over you. They want to be able to upload thoughts into your head. Now they're starting human trials. All right, I just did a video on it. Elon Musk is about to start human trials with them brain implants, man. All right, and again, they're coming with that whole, oh, we can make men walk again. We can upload thoughts into a man's brain, right, with tiny little needles, like thinner than a piece of hair, that we can, you know, plug into a man's brain and upload thoughts and all kinds of shit. All right, and the scripture says, thou art wiser than Daniel. But why are they pushing these things? All right, because they want total control. They're trying to play the Most High. This is Psalms chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. And this man is coming, you know, and he's been showing us them horns. All right, look at what's going over there, you know, with the tribes trying to get into the southern, from the southern border over there in America. Okay. So this is serious, man. Esau's been showing them horns. What do you think slavery was, man? What do you think buck breaking was? What do you think being lynched off of lampposts? All right, what do you think that was all about? The blood, you know, blood-soaked soil of America and various different parts of the earth, even over here in the UK. And over here in the UK, you know, which you're going to hear, you know, Bull Hanson go into, all right, in this video, they want complete surveillance. Will you let them? He even talks about the UK, man, and how they got these 15-minute cities. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you a little bit of this video, all right, and we can jump around through the spirit, get some precepts, and Lord willing, this be edifying, because remember, we can't be ignorant of Satan's devices. We have to watch and see what this man is trying to do next. All right, yeah, they want to talk about climate change. That's why they're putting up these new laws, and scriptures speak about woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, Isaiah 10:1. And they've introduced these ultra low emission zones, and they keep expanding these borders. And if you got a petrol car that was manufactured after 2003, I think it's or if you got a diesel that was manufactured, before 2004, and if you got a diesel that was manufactured before 2015, then pretty much you got to scrap that vehicle, or you got to pay £12.50 a day just to drive within these zones. All right, and if you thought that wasn't bad enough, now they're going to introduce 10 or 15-minute cities, 20-minute cities. All right, and these cities just keep, you know, these 15-minute cities just keep popping up all over the place in the UK, which he's about to go into. So check this out.
Internet, and you can find this very easily. If we look at the Western world, Europe, the USA, Canada, and so on, we are seeing some trends, some changes.
And it's funny because I had a talk with someone on my job today. He was from Hong Kong. You know, I spoke to him and I said to him, "What you doing over here?" You know, and he said, "Oh, he left Hong Kong and this and that and whatever." Then he started talking to me about China. I said, "Oh, things are pretty bad over there in China, right?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Do they really have a deadbeat map over there?" I said, "What's really going on over there?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "What, your social credit system scoring? They really have that going on over there?" He said, "Yeah." You know, he said, "Look, if you get labeled a criminal if you don't meet the criteria of what China is telling you and how they want you to live, then pretty much, you can't get a job, you can't ride on a train, you can't, pretty much you're shut out from society. So I said, that's pretty crazy, right? He goes, yeah, well, you're labeled a criminal over there if you don't dance to their tune, you know? And even in Hong Kong, he was saying that there was like riots over there in Hong Kong that was popping up as well. Remember, we saw them riots over there. All right, you saw the riots in Paris as well. Remember the gilets jaunes, the yellow vests, And this is all a part of biblical prophecy. You see the whole, you're gonna see more uproars of the people, man. All right, the more and more Esau tightens his grip, all right, and wants more control over the people, you're gonna see more uproars and more riots. Okay, especially with them wanting to push more surveillance. All right, what's happening over there in China, certain parts of Australia. All right, that's coming over here to the UK. It's coming to Babylon the Great. All these major cities coming to America. All these major cities. Pretty much Esau's gonna put the squeeze on you more and more. All right, and I'll never forget Elder Apostle Tahar did that video. The elect in the UK shall be tried first. All right, and here it is. This guy's doing a video talking about wanting complete surveillance, and he points out the UK
moving towards less freedom. And I would say that if we should summarize what's happening now in one sentence, that would be it. We are moving towards less freedom.
Yeah, less freedom, and to the point where if you don't dance to Esau's tune, then they're just gonna throw you headfirst into a concentration camp. Just like they show you in movies like George Orwell 1984. Where they had the Fort Police, or Fahrenheit 451 with that Michael B. Jordan, or Equilibrium with Christian Bale, movies like this, or Hunger Games, okay? Which even in the Hunger Games, they showed you about them 15-minute cities. They showed you about them certain zones that they want to put people in, okay? And it's completely segregated, They call them districts in that movie Hunger Games. All right, and it was like a battle royale, and they had these, they had people from certain districts, and it was all for Esau's entertainment. They had them fight to the death. So this man's a madman. That's why the scripture says, no flesh left to be saved, man. All right, those days have to be shortened. Matthew 24 and 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So we need Yahweh Shai to come and deliver us. And he's coming back to save the elect of the nation of Israel. All right. So let's go back into this video here.
We are moving towards less freedom.
And in fact, let me just say this as well. Like, there should be no flesh to be saved. Meaning what? Because Esau, he's a madman on the earth. Remember, the scriptures speak about how unsatiable he is. All right, that he can never have enough. That Habakkuk 2 and 5 on down. All right, he is his death. Okay, in fact, let me get that scripture because I don't want to butcher the scripture. Let's get Habakkuk 2. All right, and verse 5 it says, "Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine." All right, which was that wine? His way of life, what he's pushing throughout the world. All right, democracy, his system, all right, his false teachings, philosophies, all right, that's Esau. All right, he is a proud man, and that's why they reverence the eagle. I remember the apostles were going into that at the camp. So this is how we know this is the second leg of the Roman Empire, because of who was it that said, Elder Apostle Gabar said Benjamin Franklin that wanted the turkey to be the national bird of America. But here it was, no, it wasn't. It didn't end up being the turkey. It was the eagle, and the eagle is a proud, filthy bird. All right, and really that was set up in the spirit because it's showing you that Esau, is pretty much coming in the same spirit of the first leg of the Roman Empire. All right, even in the time of the Roman Empire, what did they do? Didn't they have elections? Okay, didn't they have? That's why the scriptures speak about the fourth beast was diverse from all the other beasts in Revelation, the 7th chapter. Okay, because they elected someone to be the head, like an emperor, if you will. Caesars. All right, and it's the same thing that you have, over here in America, or you had the back then you had the plebeians and the patricians. All right, and now you got the Republicans and the Democrats, man. All right, and which under the name of or under the guise of democracy, you can push all kinds of wine. You can say that the people wanted that as a majority and push whatever you want in the name of democracy, man. All right. That's why the scriptures speak about in Revelation 13 about the two horns like a lamb that spake as a dragon. And you see how they're pushing more and more draconian measures, especially with this whole surveillance stuff, unrighteous decrees, and ultimately the ultimate unrighteous decree that they're going to push out is for you to be chipped, which shows you how proud he is. Okay, trying to play the Most High. Neither it says he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death. So this man is as death. That's why I read the scripture. For the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. All right, because if you leave it up to Esau, who being as death, he will destroy everything, including himself. Because why? It says, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. This is what Esau is all about. And he's not satisfied. He will keep destroying and destroying and destroying till he doesn't have enough. That's why they quoted when they drew for the scroll in Planet of the Apes. They said, shun him, for he is the devil's pawn. All right? He will make a desert of your world. Loosely, paraphrasing what they were saying in that movie, man. All right? He is the devil's pawn. Okay? Shun him. That's Esau for you. And he's as deaf and he can't be satisfied. So that's another reason why we need the Lord to come back. All right? To save us. We need saving because we can't save ourselves. This is a madman that's been given the authority over the earth in these last days, man.
We are moving towards less freedom. And I think that right now, if you look to the UK, we can pretty much see where this is going. Because the UK is fast becoming a surveillance state. In the UK.
And it's true, man. You got people, with these ultra low emission zone cameras that just getting put up all over the country, man. All right, I'm over here in the UK, so I can see that for myself. I'm seeing all these cameras being installed all over the country, man. Everywhere you go. All right, and they keep increasing unrighteous decrees and increasing the border of the ultra low emission zones. All right, remember the scriptures speak about how we're going to be subject unto payments and that we are yet this day in our captivity. That's Baruch chapter 3 verse 8. And I'm seeing these things happen. All right, yeah, this guy is saying it. He's from Norway, I think. But he's saying over there in the UK. Yeah, we're in the UK. We can see it. We're going through it, bro. And it is definitely becoming a surveillance state. What is that scripture? Oh, the leopard shall watch over his cities. That's what we're experiencing. That's what we're experiencing right now. Okay.
Okay, they are quite busy dividing the cities up into 15-minute cities and 20-minute neighborhoods.
Yep.
What that means is, well, you can look it up yourself, but basically...
Which I did, okay. And it's been happening. And so I typed in on... You can just go in on Google, man. 15-minute city UK. Which cities are 15-minute cities in the UK? It is being tried out. Is it being tried out in the UK? Several local governments, including Bristol, Birmingham, Canterbury, Ipswich, and Sheffield, have said that they hope to implement a 15-minute city plan. Oxford has said it plans to be a fully functioning 15-minute city by 2040, which we know, that Esau is chatting shit when he talks about throw these dates out there. All right, because remember the scriptures tell us that they're coming down. The devil's come down and having great wrath. Let's get that scripture. All right, they ain't got a lot of time left, man. Esau's living on borrowed time. All right, this is why they're moving quick. This is why they're putting up all these cameras all over the place. Okay, this is Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. So Esau knows he's got a little bit of time left, man, to get this thing off the ground. And when I say this thing, I'm talking about what? Their New World Order agenda, okay? And if you don't think that they have these concentration camps lined up and ready, man, one video we're always encouraged to watch by Elder Apostle Gabar is Linda Thompson, America Under Siege. All right. And they show you how they had, even back then, how many years ago was that film? I can't even remember. But you can tell it was an old style filming, all right? From the quality of the film that you're watching. And, and back then, they even had electric gated off communities and electric gate, well, not communities, but gated off areas with electric gates, and turnstiles, and you couldn't, no one can come out, but it was ready for people to go in there, but there was no way out of these detention centers, man. Okay, and that was back then. So Esau is sharpening that sword. All right, you think that Esau is showing his horns with what's going on with the American border? You wait until he's ready to unleash it all on these major cities, man. See, right now, everyone's taking for granted the fact that you can just go down to the market, you can pick up some sweet potatoes, you can go in your fridge, you can, take out some chicken that you cooked yesterday or whatever, heat it up in the oven. All right, just go about your business, work a job, and pay your bills, and keep the lights on, turn the heating on when it's the winter time, in it. But there's gonna come a time. Hey, there's gonna be rolling blackouts out here. They already have been. They trialed blackouts. All right, during the pandemic, they trialed these blackouts, man. And what do you think is gonna happen to the grid when everything gets blacked out? People are gonna go buck wild, crazy, and there's gonna be opportunists, man. It's gonna become anarchy overnight, like they show you in that movie, The Last of Us, man. Watch the first episode of that show, The Last of Us. Things went from normal to anarchy with quickly, man. Everyone turning on one another, and that reminds me of 2nd Ezra 15. All right, which I'm already there. All right, it says 2nd Ezra 15, and let me start from verse 14. This is, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Yeah. Complete lawlessness, anarchy. All right, wars. Okay, riots. People banding with their own kind. Their own neighborhoods. Okay, but it's gonna get to a point where even friends shall fight against one another like enemies. Scriptures again tell you that in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, and the 22nd verse, that the sown places shall appear unsown, lack of availability of food, water. All right, especially when the grid goes out and there's no power, people are going to take matters into their own hands, man, in order to feed their families and get by. It says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. Yeah, getting straight up robbed, invaded. All right, imagine a bunch of strangers coming up in your house, and you got your family there, you got your woman with you, you got your children. You might have vulnerabilities, man, under your roof, and you got a bunch of hungry ass men and women coming up into your house. Don't care about taking a life if it means that they can eat something just to get by or through the day. And they know that you have, and they ain't gonna just stand there without and say, that's okay, you can eat and I'll just starve. No, they're gonna take what you got. That's why they're gonna be invading one another. And some people are just gonna be doing it for the thrills, like Mad Max. It's gonna be like Mad Max out here. And they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. They ain't gonna be listening to the government in that day. Stand down. In fact, they're gonna be telling their troops to shoot on sight, man. Put you people that they show you in Handmaid's Tale. People were out there protesting. Then all of a sudden, they started using live rounds on them protesters, man. All right, and this is one for the 15-minute cities, right? Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Let's go back to this video real quick.
there will be laws and restrictions put in place so that it will be difficult for you to leave your area.
So how are you going to tell me that the Bible, is not real and this ain't biblical prophecy that we're experiencing in these last days, man? How are you going to tell me that they didn't put people out here in lockdown worldwide? Whole cities that got put in lockdown, told you where you could and couldn't go. That's 2 Ezra 15 and 17 in full effect. A man shall desire to go into a city. What do they call them? 15-minute cities, man. And shall not be able. You're going to want to go from one place to another and you ain't going to be able to get there, man. All right? Massive restrictions are coming. It's going to get even worse, man. It says, but because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled. Okay? These cities are going to be troubled, man. Alright? And you can Google what a 15-minute city is. It's all here. And this is another thing. I've been seeing so much more of these being put up as well. Right? When I'm out and about driving, they've just been blocking roads off. Roads that you used to be able to go down for shortcuts to get to where you need to get. They've just been blocking them off and putting these things there, man. Straight blocking them off. Alright? And this is what they say. In response to climate change now, you can walk, you can ride there, everything you got within a 15-minute ride, bike ride or walk. So they're pushing this as auto abkeo, man, for your convenience. But no, really what they want to do is want to lock you down. Alright? And control where you can and can't go. Restrict your mobility within these cities. Alright, ITV News, digital video producer George Hancorn visited the town of Thetford, where proposals for a 20-minute neighborhood have been met with resistance. There's going to be uproars, man. This is ITV News. This was put up on Friday the 31st of March this year. Alright? The idea is simple. Plan your city around making sure all necessary amenities are within a 15-minute walk. I mean, we weren't put on the earth just to live within a 15-minute walk of everything, man. What the fuck? This is what I'm saying. But you niggas out there thinking that you're free. Try and get on a plane without a passport. Try and drive a car without a license. And you see how free you are, man. And now this is, come on, this is an unrighteous decree, man. This is fucking ridiculous. Alright? But what is it? Biblical prophecy. Alright, again, verse 17 in 2 Ezra chapter 15. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. They ain't just flirting with the idea of putting up these things. They're actually doing them and putting up all these cameras, man, in the process. And they're telling you that these ultra low emission zone cameras are being put up just for that purpose, just to take pictures of number plates of people to get charged with older vehicles. But you don't know what they can record and what they can't. That's complete surveillance, man, that they have. So they again, the words of his mouth are smoother than butter, but war is in his heart, man. Scripture says, never trust thine enemy. And Esau is the top enemy of the nation of Israel. Alright? It says, the houses shall be destroyed and men shall be afraid. Verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. See, all these, truthers and doomsday preppers and that and whatever, they're talking sense, but they just don't filter what they're saying through the scriptures. Some of them might. Alright? But they don't have the correct understanding or the spirit dealing with them to break the scriptures down the right way, just like we've been taught. Okay? Because there's a spirit that comes with the Bible that gives us the understanding as well as we're being taught these breakdowns from our beloved elders and our apostles, man. The comforter. Okay? And that's why the scripture says, Isaiah 33 and 6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. These people out here, these preppers ain't got no wisdom and knowledge, man. Alright? The heavenly knowledge that we've acquired through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So this is a great gift that we have. The scripture says, ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. Man. So we're definitely living in times of biblical prophecy, man. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. The title again, they want complete surveillance. Alright? So what's, these preppers, what's their end goal? What are they going to do? Fight against Esau and the troops and them. Well, there is going to be uproars of the people. One, we just read it. One people shall stand up to fight against another with swords in their hands. But as for us, we're trusting in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. Scripture says, let me close out on that scripture. All right, was Isaiah 59 and 59 and 19, right? It says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. All right? So when Esau starts rolling, the Lord's going to put the Spirit upon certain of us that believe in the Lord, the elect, to be raised up with spiritual power, man. So we're trusting in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Even in a time of famine, the Lord said in Isaiah 65 and 13, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. All right, so our ultimate, answer, or what shall we do in that time in Jacob's trouble? Hey, trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right. So with that, man, I pray you were edified. To the next time, I'm going to say shalom.